Breaking news this hour, Senator Bob Menendez now facing 3 federal conspiracy charges. Menendez and his wife are accused of accepting hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes, including cash, gold bars, and a luxury car. This is the second time the senator has faced conspiracy-related charges. Here with me now to weigh in on that, as well as the looming government shutdown, is Congressman Dean Phillips of Minnesota. He's a member of the Bipartisan Problem Solvers Caucus in the House. Thank you, Congressman, for joining me today. Just first on the Menendez news, there's obviously very serious allegations against the Democratic senator. Do you believe that he should resign from the Senate?
Well, first of all, everybody's innocent until proven guilty, thank goodness, still in our country. But I'm appalled. Anybody who pays attention, I don't care your politics, Democrat or Republican, you should be appalled. A member of Congress who appears to have broken the law is someone who I believe should resign. I think George Santos should have resigned already. Sadly, our House ethics process, and I would argue the Senate as well, is not as proficient as it needs to be. So we have to rely on the judicial system, but I'm really disappointed. And I have to say, in comparison to the President of the United States, of which there is no evidence whatsoever he's broken the law and yet is being subject to an impeachment inquiry, there is evidence here. And yes, I'm a Democrat, so is Senator Menendez, but based on what I've seen, I'm disappointed. Yes, I think he should resign.
Do you think Democratic leaders should lean on him and push him out?
Look, I'm trying to restore faith in government. That's one of my missions. It's a lot of my colleagues' missions. And sometimes we got to walk that talk, even if it's uncomfortable. And I would argue that this time, yes, the answer is absolutely.
Turning now to the government shutdown, you have been working with this bipartisan problem solvers group. You have a bipartisan proposal you're trying to get support for. You've met with Democratic leaders about this. How many votes do you think you can really bring along here? Because that's the big question. Can you get 218 votes to try to circumvent the Republican leadership and force a vote on the floor? How possible is that?
What's amazing in the House right now, Manu, is that our proposition, the Problem Solvers Caucus, which is now public, and I believe it's on our website, so I encourage people to take a look. I think our proposition, the framework at least, could achieve well over 218, probably 300 and some votes. The challenge is we get bottlenecks when it comes to the Speaker. The Speaker has to determine what comes to the floor and what doesn't. I know our proposition would generate extraordinary support. We have 32 Democrats, 32 Republicans that have endorsed this proposition. I know there are many more that would support it because the alternative is a shutdown of the government, which isn't just bad domestically and hurts people, actually costs more money than it would save. It demonstrates to the rest of the world that we don't have our act together. And I wish my colleagues would pay more attention to that.
Is Hakeem Jeffries, Democratic leader, is he supporting your plans? He told you he's going to support it?
The leader came to visit with our caucus the other day. He and the Speaker have a reasonably good relationship, and I think both would acknowledge, privately if not publicly, that this is going to require a bipartisan solution. And I think the Speaker would be, I think the leader would be compelled if we do enter a shutdown based on our framework.
And there's a possibility that the Speaker could get pushed out as a Speaker because of his deal-making on this,
Sure.
if he does cut a deal. How would you respond? Would you try to help him out, to bail him out if he gets pushed out, try to get pushed out as the speakership? Would you come to his aid, the Speaker of the House?
Look, I'd like to be objective. You know, we have to determine if that happens, who might succeed him. Is it good for the country to have chaos in the House, to have no Speaker for days, weeks, God knows, months? By the way, that is not unlikely that would happen. You saw what happened just to get the Speaker into his seat the first time, 15 rounds of votes. There's no heir apparent. I think we Democrats have to consider that. And we also have to consider that if he's looking for support, votes from Democrats to keep him in the seat as Speaker, that would require some negotiation and, frankly, some concessions to the minority party. There's a lot of interest in having those conversations if he's willing to shake hands and do a deal. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.